Guided missiles! How do you do it? What are the pros? What are the cons? Step-by-step guide over here. Hello, this is Foxhound. Coming back again with another tutorial. So I was just getting curious because I saw, a couple of videos here and there of people overusing guided missiles, especially in the Charles de Gaulle. And I'm going to tell you how to do this, what are the pros, what are the cons that you need to take into account. For that, I am going to use the Harrier, and I'm going to use the AL301 to prove the point. So I am going to make a step-by-step guide over here on practice, and then afterwards I'm going to do a gameplay online. Okay, so guided missiles, how does it work? The idea over here is that you want to launch your plane and launch two volleys of guided missiles from the beginning. So that way, instead of having only one volley, you have two volleys hitting a plane. Now, there are a couple of things that you need to take into account before you even consider using this tactic. First of all, you need to go to settings. Yes, then afterwards you go to game, and there is this button over here that says switch control to a new unit. So what that does is that it's going to switch the camera to whatever helicopter or plane you select. Okay, so for example, if I launch the Harrier, it's going to direct my camera into the Harrier. Okay, so you need that because you are pretty much saving a lot of valuable time in order to be able to be on base and launch the guided missiles. So now you are set on that. The second objective is to pretty much have a 4-step process. The first step will be to pre-select the plane, as I did right now. The second step is to launch the plane. The third step is to slow down. The fourth step is to launch two volleys around the missiles, throw them into the air. The fifth step is to change to another missile and to accelerate. Okay, so it's a lot of steps. That's why people don't do it often. Me in particular, am not. I chose not to do this. I will tell you the reasons why, but now I'm going to start doing it more often because I'm seeing that this is being overused and it's a valid tactic. So I'm going to practice this with you guys. So I'm going to start with the Harrier, right? So I have to make sure that I select the Harrier, slow down, shoot the missiles twice, accelerate, yeah, and then afterwards you are going to make sure that everything lands, okay? So very, very useful because you are able to launch multiple guided missiles at the same time. Now you notice that it's very quick, but this tactic, and it's all about speed. Once you get used to it, you will be able to do it. I am going to be completely honest with you. I don't use this tactic often or not at all, but every single video, if you see me using a Charles de Gaulle, most likely I'm going to push myself to use this tactic. So it's going to be on the videos, and that's the advice over here. Practice makes perfect. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take you multiple matches for you for it to become second nature. What are the pros and what are the cons about this strategy? The cons is that if you, for example, launch your helicopter, it's going to switch to your helicopter. So in order to go back, you have to get used to go back to your ship if that's what you want to do. Yep. So that's something that, for example, if you are in a rush, for example, me, sometimes I didn't get used to that tactic to make sure to come back to the CB if that's what I wanted to do. So I am going to do this again with you guys. Possibly by now you should have the steps in front of you in the video. So again, you pre-select the ship. Notice that I am stationary, I'm not moving. It's better if you move, if you press forward with 2, if you are able to, of course. It makes it easier for you to do this. But for the sake of mastery, let's put it this way, I'm going to do it like this. So again, select the ship, double select, slow down, shoot missiles, accelerate, switch missile, and then afterwards you can target any type of ship that you want to take. Yeah, so it is very useful. So yeah, I find it that is very good. It's very good. What are the another con I will say that is that in the future, well, it's not a big con, but this type of tactic you have to use it almost all the time. That means you are going to be stuck of using this type of planes that have guided missiles. If another plane comes that does not use guided missiles, for example the Su-39, and it turns out to be the meta, then you are going to have problems because you need to again readapt to how you used to play before, and you may not be using this tactic. And when another plane comes back with guided missiles, you have to relearn. I give this tactic around 6 months, 3 months, it depends, because we have new planes coming around that period of time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an online match. As it's loading, I'm going to say, well, I'm going to try this in an online match. Again, the good thing about this tactic is that if you are in a small map like this one, you are going to make the most of it because you will be able to take a lot of damage from ships. The only issue over here, as you notice over here, if you cannot see anyone, you won't be able to target anyone. This time I was lucky, yeah, and I was able to hit some ships. But bear in mind, of course, you need your map open and you need to make sure that you are able to do these things. Of course, take that into consideration. Yes, the map needs to be open. If no one wants to collaborate with a helicopter, sometimes that can be tricky. That can be mitigated if you are with an assault carrier, because you may have now your, what is it called? You may have your own fighter that is going to enable you to pretty much handle this for you. Yeah. So it's very useful, but something to take into account. Practice, practice, practice. It takes some time to master. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a quick fix. And I even told you at the beginning of the video, look, this is going to take some time just to set some expectations on what or how fast it's going to take you to do this, right? But well, overall it is a very good tactic. Let's try that again, right? Switch, fire, yeah, there you go. Accelerate, identify your target. Sometimes things that can happen, right, is that you may be slow and selecting the new target and you may lose a couple of missiles, but that's okay. If you're not hitting, you're practicing and you miss a couple of shots, it's okay. You're learning and you don't have anything to lose. You just lost one round of volleys. Unless you find yourself really, really, really using every single volley, it's not a big issue. Yeah, so that's something that I want to throw over here. So I have to say thank you very much, all of you, for your support. I really value it indefinitely. Okay, another trick that you can do if your ship is outside and is still alive, just simply go over, right? Yeah, if you manage to keep your your plane alive and it comes back, you can always use this tactic as well, so that way you save some time. Okay, now I'm just going to focus on the match because of course I don't want to lose. And but please dive on your comments. What are your things? What are your thoughts? I'm very interested to hear from you guys. How I can help you? Is there something in particular that you want me to address regarding videos? Some questions that you may have? I'm always very interested to helping my subscribers as much as possible. So yes, I'm very happy to hear from you guys. So for now, let's try to finish this match. As you can see, this is a 2-on-2. This is another small little thing that you need to take into account. Sometimes when you use the Charles de Gaulle, and you have to be aware of this situation over here, what's happening to me over here, because you don't have a fighter, you are going to find yourself sometimes more and a lot of times, I will say, on a one-on-one situation, because most of your teammates will die. That's why you notice that sometimes when most of people use a Charles de Gaulle, you are going to find yourself in a situation like this when you are fighting the last people by yourself, and it's exactly because of that. Because you are pretty much focused on making damage and you are not protecting your team. That's one of the downsides maybe of this tactic and of using Charles de Gaulle, that you have to be used to a situation that is going to be only you against someone else, like it's happening right now. The positive thing, of course, is that you have air superiority. You have an indefinite amount of ships, let's put it this way, airplanes that you can use. So that's a huge plus. I'm going to launch my planes over here, okay? But makes it interesting. Sometimes that's why I didn't choose Charles de Gaulle for matches like online ranked, because damage is important, being the hero is important. But at the end of the day, when you play as an ACV, it makes it more consistent if your team is alive and you're not the only one fighting at the end, because sometimes things can go wrong. All right. So yeah, it seems that, well, we got this bonus match over here with this typhoon over here that wants to, be super. So no. my perfect match. Again, it happens, guys. It really does. Uh, yeah, sometimes that can happen as well. If for some reason you decide to just crash your plane for no reason whatsoever, that's another thing that happens with the Harrier as well. So it is a little bit unfortunate. Nothing we can't handle, but oh well, we just have to be on the clock. We just need to wait, and that's another thing. Okay, let's try this again, right? Slow down, shoot, accelerate, switch missiles. If you cannot find him, well, you sometimes you move your missiles to another location. I also noticed that the missiles of the Harrier, the guided missiles of the Harrier, tend to hit the target more. But the guided missiles of this this plane, sorry, can be hit more consistently. Yeah. So this is almost like a plane that gives like a slow death, let's put it this way, to your enemy. So yeah, that makes it a little bit tricky. Same tactic: slow down, shoot, accelerate, push up, and there he goes. You notice the damage that I do with the Harrier. Look at that, yeah? It is nasty. Yeah, so that was a very nice looking match actually. I'm glad that I got it on video. So yeah, that's it for me. Maybe in the future I'm going to provide a video regarding guidelines of how to use ACV. Yeah, I mean, when you see this type of match, that's the thing, right? You will think, oh yeah, 2,300,000 damage. Amazing, perfect. You are the king. Look, please take this into consideration when you play CV or ACB. And I think this is related to battleships. What do you want to do? To do damage or to die? I would have preferred 1,000,000 times used to have like 1,000,000 damage or less and keep all my team alive rather than to be just the last one kicking ass. Because I don't know, it makes it more stressful. Playable, yes, but at the end of the day, if you play 3, 5, 7, 10 matches, and maybe it applies for this tactic as well. I mean, in the long term, it can drain you in the long term. Let's put it this way. So take that into consideration. I'm going to stop the rambling right now. Hope you like the video. If you reach this point, like, comment, and subscribe. And I see you in the next one.